Hello and welcome to part 3 of Brett M. Frager's video series on how to animate 3D text in Animator. This tutorial will consider that the viewer already knows how to create 3D text. Brett M. Frager claims no ownership over Animator, Camstudio, Microsoft Movie Maker, Microsoft Text-to-Speech, CFS Technologies' Speakonia programs, or any of their components. This video is made only to educate viewers on how they can animate their own created 3D text in Animator. This video was made only on an educational and fun intention. Now let's continue. With this knowledge of the scene editor, we can now click OK in the top right hand corner once all your data is put into the functions. After pressing OK, double check to see if your transparent black or white box is still at the first right frame of 0. If your transparent black or white box is in place, then you are ready to get the tools set up for animating. In this video we will be animating our 3D text in a horizontal circle. To do this we must first change our axis direction from the Y to the X. To do this we must go up to the selected Y-axis and deselect it by clicking on the tab, and then go to the left and select the X-axis. The X-axis should be the only tab selected. If the Z tab is selected, then deselect it. Next we will go down to the Rotate tool and select it. These are the only two things that need to be selected to rotate an object or 3D text on the X-axis. We will need to tell Animator to now set keyframes so that Animator knows what to do with the text. A keyframe is basically an indicator that tells an animation program when to start, stop, or how to animate an object that the keyframes are assigned to. In Animator, the way to set a keyframe is by click on the tab in the bottom left hand corner that has a key on it. Select this tab by clicking on it with the cursor. The tab should now turn a bright green and the key symbol should turn white. Now in the timeline, scroll to the first frame of the last second that you want your animation to stop. Next we will want to make sure that our 3D text is the only thing selected in our workspace. To do this we will need to go up to the top view module and change the mode to perspective. You should now see a white selection box around your 3D text and the green outlines of the CAMERAS triangular view. If you do not see green outlines coming out of your camera, then you may skip ahead in the video to the next step. However, for those of you that do see the green camera outlines, then that is what our goal is to get rid of right now. Go up to the Object Scene mode in the top left corner. The symbol on the tab should be an eye-shaped design. Next go down and select the Zoom View tool. This tool should look like a square box with two arrows pointing from the corners at each other. Now click, hold, and push away from you with your cursor on the workspace. The workspace should now zoom out, causing you to see the camera, 3D text, and all of their selected features. With your camera and 3D text selected, you cannot animate your text in the way that would come out looking the way you want. This is because with both of them selected, when we rotate or do other animation features, the camera will also get a keyframe for these features of movements. With both items having the keyframes of the animations, when played back the camera will not stay still or directly on your 3D text or object. This is why we must select our 3D text only by deselecting the camera. To do this we must go back into Object Edit mode, then go down and select the Select tool. Go over to your workspace and click on anywhere on the workspace that does not have a selected white box around it. This will deselect all the IDs in the workspace. We can now tell Animator to set the keyframes only to our 3D text. The only thing that needs to be done to tell Animator to set keyframes to only the 3D text is to select it by clicking on it with the Select tool. The white selection box that goes around the 3D text when selected should be the only white box now on the workspace. With this done, we will need to zoom our workspace back down so that the selected 3D text is the only thing that can be seen. To do this, go back into Object Scene mode and select the Zoom View tool. The tab for the Zoom View tool may already be selected. With the selected tab, put your cursor over the workspace, then click, hold and drag your mouse towards you. It is normally best, when zooming, to zoom in little segments. This prevents from over-zooming or back-zooming. Now go back into Object Edit mode, and select the Rotation tool. Animating can now take place on our 3D text, without any mistakes happening. We will be animating in Camera mode. Group to the top view module, and select Camera in the drop-down list. Before any rotating can be done, make sure that your keyframe tab is selected. When rotating, we will want to rotate in segments. In this animation of 3D text, there will be 3 main segments. They are the beginning, middle and end. The beginning will have a keyframe that says that the 3D text is facing toward us. A 180-degree rotation on the x-axis will be our middle, and the completion of the 360-degree rotation will be our end. The beginning is already set for us by how the text normally looks like in camera mode. If your text is not facing directly at you, so that it looks like a 2D image, then you will want to change that with the tools in the Object Edit mode. When set, move your transparent black or white box to the halfway time in your timeline. For instance, my time on the timeline is going to be 7, so I would put my transparent black or white box on the 3.5 frame in the timeline. The timeline works just like a standard ruler, down in between 2 seconds. Or if you wanted to count each mark in between the seconds, the middle would be the 12th mark. The frame for the middle mark goes in between the middle mark and the mark to the right of it. With the middle transparent black or white box in the middle, we can now rotate our 3D text to 180 degrees. In this tutorial, the 3D text will be animated to rotate from right to left. However, you may animate your to rotate from left to right. Which way you rotate will not have any effect on the outcome of the project, besides the way the text is going to be rotating. To rotate your object, just click on the middle of our 3D text and move your cursor in the way you want it to rotate. Rotate is until you can only see the right side if you're rotating from right to left, or the left side if you're rotating from left to right of your 3D text. You can see if you move your transparent black or white box that your text will begin to rotate. You can play back what we have so far by clicking on the Play Symbol tab in the middle of the left-hand corner. If your project is done correctly up to this point, your 3D text should start from the front and then rotate to our 180 degrees halfway mark, and then back the same way it started until it reaches the position of how it started. If there is any trouble with your animation up to this point, then go back in the movie and re-watch some of the previous steps. Thank you for watching part 3 on how to animate 3D text in Animator. Please continue to part 4 of the tutorial.